things that our body needs to survive is food. And so what I'm going to talk about today is how kind of our perceptions and thoughts about food and cooking have changed over time. So one of the major milestones in food history was kind of the industrializing of food. And so this happened mainly at the time of World War II. And the government was needing food for the soldiers. And so they contacted industry, and industry started making prepackaged rations to send to the soldiers overseas. So then, once that industry was up and going, it was pretty profitable. But once the war ended, they needed to adapt, and they needed to find a way to sell some of those prepackaged items to the public. And so they had ads and marketing campaigns that were focusing on kind of the time-saving benefits of prepackaged foods, and it kind of became a theme of, you know, cooking is work, and you want to get you out of the kitchen and save time. And so kind of along with those themes, in the 1950s, things kind of evolved a little bit further, and you have the first fast food restaurants, first fast food restaurants, and you have the time-saving invention of the TV dinner. So, along with our kind of continuing with our time theme, as we fast forward today, you see that kind of marketing campaign kind of became the reality that we live in today. That, you know, it's not uncommon that, you know, both parents work, that kids are going this way and that way, and people just feel like they don't have enough time. And so that's one of the main reasons or excuses, I guess, of people today of not wanting to eat and cook at home. So that being said, if we look at the statistics, the average American eats out 4 to 5 times a week, and eating out that often does have an effect on us. So it affects our health. If you look at the obesity rates in America, they're pretty high, and obesity is a risk factor for other diseases. So it also affects our budget. It takes up some of the money that we would normally have to spend during the month. So in looking at the statistics again, it says that eating out 4 to 5 times a month, and that's eating out fast food and including, you know, dining, that people spend about $200 a month on that, and that's a pretty good chunk of change. Another way that it affects us is in our family relationships. So studies tell us that, or have shown that, if we have a family meal at least 4 times a week, that increases it lessens the risk of obesity, drug use, eating disorders, and it increases the likelihood that your child will graduate from high school. So those are all pretty good things, just from 4 times a week. So anyway, I'm a pretty big proponent of eating and cooking at home, and so what I would like you to know today is that it is possible to prepare your meals at home and to cook and to eat at home and still do it in a timely manner. It doesn't have to take all day. So one of the ways that we do is that we involve our whole family. So everyone gets involved in kind of the food prep, and that makes it more of a family activity versus a chore for just one person. It also is good. We increase our own skills at cooking, and we can teach our kids a life skill. Another way that keeps us from eating out all the time is just keeping some standard ingredients at your house, that things that you can throw together and make a quick meal. And that kind of comes into play when maybe it's the end of the day, things are crazy, you've got 4 people going different ways, and when you would normally, think, oh, I'm going to hit the drive-through, you can maybe take a minute, think about it, and think, oh, I have those ingredients at home that I could just throw something together really fast. That would be a bit healthier, and it's not going to take me that much time. So the last way that I really save time cooking is that I use a pressure cooker. And a pressure cooker is a great tool, and it allows you to cook things on a weeknight that you wouldn't normally cook. Like I can cook a whole chicken, or I can cook a roast, I can cook dried beans, I can cook brown rice, lentils, things like that are healthy, but normally take a longer amount of time. Now, usually when I tell people I cook with the pressure cooker, they kind of get this funny look, and they say they're freaked out to use the pressure cooker. They've heard some random story, or their aunt told them that their grandma's pressure cooker blew up in the kitchen, and they wouldn't dare to use it, or they wouldn't dare to let their kids be in the kitchen. And I've been using the pressure cooker for a long time, and so I can tell you it's safe. I haven't ever had any of those things happen. And it's just a super, super good tool. And as well, it's economical. You can pick up a 6-quart pressure cooker, which is what you normally use, what I normally use to cook, and it'll cook a roast and a whole chicken, those kind of things. I think, the range is from like 25 to 100, depending on how fancy you want to be. So in the scheme of things, that's a pretty inexpensive tool that you can use to cook a lot of different things. I can cook a whole chicken if it's thawed in about 30 minutes. If it's not all the way thawed, it takes about 45 minutes. If I want to do chicken soup, I can pull that out, take the meat off the bones, put it back in, make some homemade noodles, and I have homemade chicken soup in about 45 minutes. So it's a huge way to save time. So now that I have given you the 3 kind of hints or helps on how you can save time cooking and eating at home, my hope would be that you pick one of those ways and try it, and that you will find out that you can cook quicker, and you will be healthier, you can save money, and you will improve your family relationships.